Hello! Today's video is sponsored by procrastination. I'm making this video super last minute because I don't want to be behind a week again. Today we're going to react to one of my more controversial videos. I'm gonna get my blood sugar up for this one. So it has been about 3 years since I recorded this video. I don't think I've watched it more than twice in that time, so I don't really remember what I said. I'm gonna assume I'm gonna disagree with a lot of the stuff I said, but we're gonna react to one of my old videos today. All the stuff on the side, just ignore that. My subscriptions are a mess. But this video is currently privated. Okay, apparently it's unlisted, but yeah, you can't see it because I don't want you to until we decide whether I still have these opinions now. So this is from December of 2018. I was 21. Basically, the times they were a change-in, so I decided to make a video. This is a thing that comes up a lot. Literally, at least once a month, I make some kind of post about it. Because my voice is lower and I live in the middle of nowhere, so people never see people of color that, you know... I live in the middle of nowhere. People are really ignorant, so most people think I'm transgender because my voice is really low, but I'm really curvy. And I used to get super offended by it. Now I just think it's funny. But people have been calling me that as an insult since I was like 12. People have been trying to prove that I am. People have been asking really invasive questions, either online or even just coming up to me in person. That's my daily life. So I made this video trying to like explain it all in one go, and we're gonna look back 3 years and see if 21-year-old me agrees with me now. I am going to cringe so hard. But just to clarify before I start, my current stance is I'm non-binary. I don't consider myself transgender because I'm sick of explaining that it's an umbrella term. Where I live, people think it means you were born this and now you're the opposite and you had surgery at some point in the middle. That's their idea of being transgender, and I'm literally just sick of explaining that that's not what it means, so I just identify as non-binary or agender. I use they, them pronouns. I don't really care how I present on the outside. I've never felt masculine, ever, and I've never identified as male or a man, ever, and I don't want to. That's where we're at right now. Clickbait, but like it's clickbait because of the title, but like this is actually what I'm gonna talk about, so... Well, my intros haven't changed much, have they? Also, that's my natural hair. That's another thing people ask all the time. But like I said, person of color, I live in the middle of nowhere, people think I'm trans, and they don't like it. This has been a thing. Man, this camera angle is so bad. I still have it. This is what I used, this iPad Air from 2014, to film that video and all of my other videos for a really long time, actually. If you're wondering why I have 4 chins, that's why. That was like a thing people used to try to insult me, which I don't understand because that's not an insult, but back in the day it was. Back in the day, it's still an insult, which is the problem. 2009. Dear God, I'm old. Well, you're even older now. Oh, hello, Steve. My cat has decided to join us for the... No, you can't have cranberry juice. My cat has decided to join us. Transy, I shit you not, that's exactly what they said. That is true. Literally, like, Transie. Transy. Like, they were literally so ignorant they didn't even know the appropriate effective slurs to use. The reasoning back then, I was told, was that they thought my boobs were fake because my voice was so low, and I'm like, have you never seen a woman of color before? No, they hadn't. Yeah, my boobs are huge. I love how I'm making fun of how big my boobs are when in that video I was literally like 20 pounds underweight. And now I'm pregnant and my boobs are really big. Or if they weren't paying attention because it was while they were on vacation, because everyone I went to middle school with was like, we're not just talking rich like I'm jealous, like legitimately making well over $100,000 a year rich. Do I care? No, because... so am I. Oh, how the times have changed. I don't know why. All I knew was I did not like people saying things that weren't true. And I did not like people going out of their way to try to insult me. Sometimes it was because I was actually offended and insulted, but by like... I'm just wondering why I'm struggling so hard to flat iron my hair. And that's the same flat iron I use now. On topic. Yeah, so I still have a really big problem with that. It's not so much if I care about spreading rumors, right? Like hurting my reputation, trying to be negative on purpose. What I care about is that if you're going to say something bad about me, it better be something that I actually did. Like if you don't like my hair, cool. If you don't like how my voice sounds, cool. But don't say that either of those things are because I'm trans. That's what bothers me. So I've been working on not caring as much about that. So I just assume that if someone has a problem with me and they're trying to lie about me, that it's like they've got their own stuff to deal with. But honestly, it still bothers me. I don't like when people straight up lie. Like, if you want to talk shit, cool, don't care. But talk shit authentically. At this point, I just, like, truth defends itself, offense comes by truth. Okay, so I'm really on that for, like, since 8th grade, but I never believed it until, like, this year. But the fact that you think your opinion should matter to me bothers me. So I would literally say anything just to get them to stop talking. I would apologize for stuff. That is also still a thing I struggle with. I don't like when people, like, I don't care necessarily what your opinion of me is, but if you go out of your way to tell me your opinion and then expect a certain... Can you not clean your ass while I'm filming, please? I'll wait. But he really can't reach that far. Are you done? Totally forgot what I was talking about, thanks. Basically, I don't like when someone comes up to me and expects me to react a certain way to their opinion. Because it's like, who do you think you are? Who do you think you are? Running around leaving scars. That right there is why I will never purposely change my voice. I know you can get voice changing surgery. I know hormones change your voice. My singing voice would change if I didn't talk the way I talked, so I never did anything about it. Last time somebody asked me if I was trans in public, I just walked away because it's like, sir, this is a Target. This was never one of those things because it just bothered me so much. Is my hair just actually that damaged that I can't flat iron it? I almost want to say reverse body dysmorphia, but that's not how that works. Because I would look in a mirror or a phone screen or anything reflective for years anytime I walked past it. Are you eating the carpet? Are you okay? Do you need Jesus? Hyper masculine because, like, you can hear your own voice all the time, but you can't see your own face all the time. I don't even care about either binary standard, shall we say. I don't care about gender roles. I don't care about dressing to fashion trends anyway, let alone deciding whether or not they fit my biological sex. Literally the only thing I'm into that's quote feminine is makeup. It took me a little bit longer to realize that I identify as agender. So I actually did not identify as anything for a really long time. I started to call myself agender after college because I didn't know there was a word for it. Because again, I live in the middle of nowhere, so I didn't know there was a word for it until I was like 19 or 20, and then I started identifying myself that way. And I've never really felt comfortable with people referring to me as she, her, girl, whatever, even since I was like 8 or 9 years old. So I guess at that point I had started openly saying I was agender. I don't know when that started. I can't remember. Because it took a while, because I do appear very feminine. I'm sick of people calling me she. It's really old. So it took me a while to openly start talking about it because I'm like, no one's gonna... I've had people that I was supposedly close friends with straight up say, well, I'm not gonna call you that because I've seen you naked. And I'm like, well, by your standards, I'm not gonna call you a man then. I don't really care, I guess is the best way I can describe it. I don't feel a need to be masculine or feminine. It's non-binary, but it's not trans. So at that point, I didn't know that trans was an umbrella term. I thought non-binary was the umbrella term and trans fit under it, and now I have learned that is not historically accurate. But like if someone said I was trans that was actually in the community and knew what it meant, and one of my pictures fell down. But it's like the only people who ever do are people who are ignorant. I have no idea what I'm talking about. Because of the same reasons? Or that you looked at my hair and went, there's no heterosexual explanation for this? And they're all just like making their assumptions. I think my hair is just that damaged. It has nothing to do with your gender, even if you factor in the quote Adam's apple thing. Literally, what the fuck is an Adam's apple? Like, I'm still confused. I honestly have no clue why that's there. I don't know what it's for. And then, even then, it's like environmental things can change your voice too. My voice is actually higher than it was a couple years ago because there had been about 4 years when I was in school where I either didn't talk at school at all or I talked in a higher voice so that people would be nice to me. So think stereotypical Valley girl. I literally talked like this. I can't even do it anymore because I damaged my voice doing it and it sucked. I like literally talked like this for, I don't know, 2.5 years or something like that at school because like I just wanted to. Yeah, that was a lot more accurate. I talked like that for a good 2 years on purpose. It's literally British people don't give a shit. Australians don't give a shit. No other language. I knew exactly 2 Australians and 1 British person at this point in my life. Other than Japan, and honestly, do we even know if this is true if we don't live there, because it might just be an anime thing? Wow, that was the only intelligent thing I've said. If everyone took a step back to think about that, then everyone would realize that their own preference may or may not match up with that whole societal standard. Why am I putting heat on my hair? The last, 4 guys I've talked to, with the exception of my ex, have higher voices than I do. This is the gayest video I've ever made, because I'm talking about this with rainbow hair. It shouldn't matter, because your sexuality, if you're not attracted to non-binary people, that's fine. No one can control their sexuality. I'm gonna disagree with that as well. I don't think it's possible to say you're not attracted to non-binary or transgender people because you don't know if someone is until they tell you. I'm pretty sure I've been with somebody of every gender identity that I'm aware of. They all presented differently. I didn't know until I asked them or they told me. And I identify as a lesbian. Go figure. They're unattractive to me, so they should be unattractive to everybody. No, that's not how that works. Sit there and say that your preference should be everyone's standard is where I draw the fucking line. So I'm also going to disagree with that. I think most people wouldn't have the preferences they have if they didn't grow up in a society that was telling them that those things were good or bad. My poor hair. If you want tips on how to talk to people about gender identity, I can either answer you in the comments, I can DM you. I don't think 21-year-old me should be giving anybody advice. This could be its own video topic, actually. I don't think that anyone who has naturally curly hair and straightens it is doing it voluntarily. Same concept. I should make a video about that. Okay, so there's a lot of stuff in there that I don't agree with anymore, but the general concept is the same. I definitely still agree that I don't like when people just assume that about me, but I disagree with the reasons why at this point. How I look is not the issue, my voice is not the issue, so I don't really care about changing it anymore to fit in the middle. I mean, that was what I thought at the time with the knowledge that I had and the insecurities I was dealing with at the time. People change. Later.
Till our shoes don't squeak, till our knees get weak, digging in too deep, face dripping, sweat, heat on our shoulders, sun beats, never stop, we on the clock, our souls never miss a beat.